We should put rise and grind.
The grind don't stop. Rise and grind.
Tutorial to rising and grinding.
Cinemark boys.
Trinity.
Got anything? Oh,
Tell them what happened yesterday.
I got robbed.
Their store got robbed.
Hobby Lobby got robbed.
Welcome back to the Collegiate Cast. Today we're going to be talking about getting jobs and volunteering in two different parts. So this is our first part about jobs. Hopefully you learned something. We're going to be talking about like resumes, where to get a job, how to get a job, what it's like having a job, especially as a teenager. So hope you learn something, hope you have fun, and yeah.
So now we're going to move on to introductions and where everyone works.
I'm Riley Hacker and I work at Starbucks.
I'm Trinity Doyle and I work at Hobby Lobby.
I'm William Johnston and I work at Cinemark.
I'm Jonathan Lopez and I work at Cinemark as well.
And I'm Dillian and I'm unemployed. I'm just here to ask questions.
Our first question for everyone is how and when did you get your first job?
Well, when I got my first job, it was just as school was ending, and I was like, well, I need a job. I want money. I have a car now, or I'm going to get a car because I was getting my license, and I kind of need to pay for that. So I was trying to figure out where I needed to apply and stuff, and I tried first applying to PetSmart, but then it kind of freaked me out because they needed my social security number, and that's a little freaky.
I tried that as well and called them, and they're like, people under 18 can't work there.
Mm-hmm. So it freaked me out from applying online because I was like, yeah, I don't like this. And so on my list, I applied to Hobby Lobby because that was the only place that had a paper application. And I ended up not even really using my resume, and I got accepted at the first job I applied at because they interviewed me really quickly, and I got hired on the spot because they really needed employees.
The reason I got my job is because I'm best friends with Trinity, and she's like, wow, look at me and my job. No, that's how I felt. I was like, wow, she's a job. And then I went to a friend's birthday party, and all of them were employed at, like, paintball range
Peer
and
pressure.
things like that.
Are you saying peer pressure got you into
Yes.
working?
Peer pressure got me a job.
Sorry, bro.
Peer pressure can be a good thing. Wow.
But I was like, okay, I need a job. I made a list of a few places I want to apply. PetSmart didn't accept minors, so that wasn't it. I applied to Target, and they just said no. So I pulled up to Starbucks one day, and they had a huge hiring sign, so I thought, like, why not? They have a super low, like, acceptance rate, so I didn't think much of it. But they contacted me back. They said, like, interview. So I showed up. She was super nice. It was super simple. She didn't say, you're hired, but she said, like, welcome to the team and things like that. And then said to, like, one of the employees, oh, is this our new partner? That's what they call coworkers, partners. And so she was like, yep. And so I was so confused whether I got the job or not. But you just have to pass the background check, and I was hired.
No, you didn't get the job. They just wanted to be your friend.
Yeah.
They're just tricking you.
But I swear the only reason I got hired is because I was actually the first person to apply and have an interview. And my one experience was I worked at a daycare for 2 weeks. And she was like, oh my God, you worked with kids. I love that. And she was like, wow, you're a teenager. You know, a Starbucks goal is to be a third home. And so she's like,
Wow.
well, the adults could relate to the adults, and you could relate to the little kids because you're a little kid. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Thank you. I mean, what do you expect from Starbucks?
Yeah.
So I had a very interesting experience getting hired. When I turned 16, my dad's like, why don't you have a job yet? So I spent a while looking around. I applied to Cinemark after going to see Godzilla vs. Kong as a joke. A waste of $6 if you ask me, but I applied. I got a call back the next day because they are apparently critically understaffed, and they are still understaffed. So if you want a job, go apply at Cinemark. But I more or less just walked in, sat down in the back room by a manager, and told I was hired. So I got hired. I've been working there since mid-June. This is a pretty simple process. I didn't actually end up using my resume. So yeah, that's about it, Jonathan.
So pretty much my process was similar to Will's, but I went through Indeed instead, and I pretty much just got an email back, and after that was the same exact process as Will. I got interviewed by a man twice my height, went into a small dark alleyway behind the Cinemark, got into a room, very sketch. It was super dark. I didn't trust him at all. He started asking me questions, which were, regular interview questions. And I ended up just, he's saying like, hey, you're hired on the spot. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he kind of just walked out. And
He handed me a stack of cash. It was weird.
It was strange. On the way back, I saw Will as an usher. I just waved to him. I was like, hey. And yeah, that was really about it. I left, and I had a job now.
What a great
The
story.
man took off his coat, and turns out it was actually just Will and another small man.
Wow, great stories. Great stories.
Okay. Real quick, I want to talk about how resumes kind of work. And so just keep in mind, if you want a job, you will probably have to get a resume. And it's not as hard as this sounds. Most people don't have experience, so look up educational resume. Fill that out with your information. Try to think of all the experience you can think of, whether it's volunteering or, I don't know, you got paid to dog sit, or even try to get experience if you want that.
Yeah, when it comes to experience, like babysitting, mowing lawns, any of that, it does count as experience because you're still being responsible for yourself, and you can count it as like, hey, I'm being responsible, I'm self-regulating myself and all of that, and it does like count for something. So you do have experience, and as a collegiate or college student or whatever your situation is, because I mean most of you are collegiate students.
Oh, I was just going to say my friend in Puerto Rico just sitting there like, yes, that's me.
Yes. Yes. But you've volunteered, you've done stuff, and whatever else you've done, you can make it sound good. So you do have experience. Just think hard. Make it sound good. But how many of us actually used a resume for their job?
I did, because it was an online application.
I most certainly didn't.
I did not.
I used a resume for the volunteering thing that I did, but it was because it was, dealing with kids, so they had to make sure that I was, like, fit for the position.
Yeah, I've used my resume for other things, like I've applied for a scholarship before, but I haven't used it for a job application.
I've basically just used it for that, like, officially. The other thing was just easy A and pathways.
I pretty much used the resume for both, but I don't think they looked at it really. So
Resumes are important, and it's good to have, so a lot of jobs will want you to use your resume if you apply online. And it's also good for other things like certain volunteer things and if you apply for scholarships. So it's good to work on that, and you can get help from the school and in pathways for making it. So, yeah.
Now, what would we recommend for a first job?
I don't know, guys. What would you
Cinemark.
recommend? Oh, Cinemark,
I'm
yeah,
not sure
totally.
I would recommend Cinemark, actually.
I would recommend retail.
I would probably recommend retail because, like, Cinemark, working at theater is fun and all, but it is a little exhausting, and you do, well, at least at our theater anyways, you're expected to do a lot of the work yourself and be able to know what you have to do, like, so there's not someone directing you the entire time. Now, that is most jobs in general, but I feel like the managers will sometimes just, like, leave halfway through, and we need to have the theater ready to shut down at, like, 1 in the morning, and that's always fun. Also, you work odd hours, and that doesn't always work for school. So I would recommend retail where you can have some closer to a normal school schedule.
Yeah, fast food isn't bad, but specifically Starbucks, there's a lot to learn. It's like a class. Like, to make drinks, it's so complicated, and people are so picky. Okay,
The coffee business.
chill, maybe, relax.
There is 1 ounce less of milk than usual in my
I have a
latte.
Quizlet to study for recipes because there's
Oh
so
my
many
God.
stupid drinks at
That's
Starbucks.
ridiculous.
But we do have to memorize a lot of stuff. We have register tests every time that we have an audit. Sometimes I use a lot of words that I forget that, like, Riley doesn't understand.
I'm in the dungeon, guys.
I'm in the dungeon.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the dungeon? Because you talked about it.
Do you want to know what the
last
dungeon
go-around.
is? Oh, wait.
I also want to mention our Our store has a SOS Teenage Boys. That's our SOS.
Actually?
SOS
Yeah,
teenage
there's this group
boys.
of teenage boys that came in, and we have, like, this thermometer to, like, COVID test, take our temperature, and they picked it up and was, like, touching it. You're not welcome at Starbucks, basically.
Wouldn't go
Yes,
there
we are
anyway.
singling you out.
Yeah, we don't, like, if you work box office, you do have to be able to do stuff, but they won't let me work box office for some unknown reason. I haven't asked, that's why. But, the closest thing to memorization we have at the Cinemark is sometimes people will ask about our combo deals, which are a scam, by the way. You save like a quarter. So like they'll ask, well, can you list your combos? Because we used to have this plaque up, but they took it down, so now you just have to have it memorized. That's fun, but that's not too bad. Cinemark's pretty easy. It's just a little exhausting.
Being a better employee than Will, I'm also a cook, which means I have to memorize like 24 recipes now for making fries
Will
with
is
cheese
crying.
and
Y'all can't
brisket
hear,
and
but he's
burgers
crying.
Of course.
and chicken and pizza. I have to memorize a lot more things than Will's lame combos.
Okay. Yeah. I have to memorize the prices of several items because they took out we have these papers that we keep in our register for certain items that don't have the price tags on them because we go by price, we don't scan. And they recently took them out of our registers and put them like on the screen so that like we would have to press some buttons that can go through, but that's too slow, so now they want us to memorize it. I also have to memorize like how to fill out a check, how to do returns for certain types of cards, because depending on which card you use or which payment method, it goes back to the returner, to the returnee or whatever, in a different way when you do returns. There's just a lot of really weird things that like most people wouldn't think of.
Basically, go or choose a job that you will enjoy, or either you will enjoy or you think you will enjoy. Sometimes it's not easy to say like, this is going to be so fun, I love working. It's not like that. But, I enjoy working at Starbucks more than, I don't know, Taco Bell. No offense to Taco Bell workers out there. But just choose a job you think you will enjoy. Think of location and how far it is to get there. Make sure you know their starting pay if you're okay with that. There's also often
It is so
rules
hard
with
to know starting pay.
Yeah, like at the theater it says, we start between like $9 and $13, but that's a lie. You start at $9.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby said that it was like $9.25 or something an hour, and it's not.
Also keep in mind that stores often have different rules with minors, because at Starbucks, I think for most places, no promises, but minors can only work 4 hours a school night.
Yeah, some of this is stuff that you can't know beforehand. You just have to ask them during the interview. You can't know all of it before you apply.
And feel free to ask them questions during the interview. I was nervous to ask questions. I didn't even ask my starting pay till I got hired. And I was like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was too nervous.
So
it was like, you're hired. Do you have any questions? I was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, do you want to know how much you get paid? And I was like, sure.
if you say so.
If you say so.
Interviews, don't stress. Don't stress. I stressed a lot. It was my first interview. I was like, this is Starbucks. I didn't even think I was going to get this far. But dress nice, but not too nice. Like, I wore my collegiate shirt because I'm like, ooh, college.
Just gotta flex on him.
Yeah, but she wasn't impressed. Anyway, it's not that hard. I watched I think Indeed has a video on interview advice with 5 million views, and I watched it. I'm like, okay, copy their posture, look professional, and none of that helped. My mom quizzed me so hard, and it was just the simplest questions. Don't stress too much about it, especially in this economy.
Yeah. What did you guys wear to your interview?
I wore a red polo and jeans.
Okay.
The
Polo,
brand
let's go.
colors.
I wore jeans and an oversimplified shirt because I knew Will was going to work that day.
I have a slight grudge against oversimplified, but that's neither here nor there.
All right.
Yeah, at the interview I had, I just, sat up straight, was polite. The manager was very laid back.
Yeah.
I think don't expect them to be super uptight because it is an entry-level retail or fast food job, most likely. But, be polite and try not to slouch. You have scoliosis like me. But, it's really not that bad. Don't stress about it. I kind of just walked in, said hey, got sat down, talked for a bit, and was told I was hired. It's really not nearly as bad as you would think.
I was overstressed and overprepared. It was extremely chill, and I think that's what most people think going into it is just like, my stepmom drove me there, and she was just like, what are the 3 top things that you can add to a team, or like, what are your best skills, what are your worst skills, what are things you can work on, and like all of that.
I'm gonna be honest, my dad told me get out of the car. He just kind of drove off.
Yeah, well, my stepmom, she's like silent first 3 minutes and then nothing but talking for the last 2 minutes. That's how, it's a 5-minute drive to work, so because work somewhere close.
Work somewhere close.
That's what you want to do.
Do that. So if you run into a thing last second, like you say you couldn't find your lanyard for 20 minutes, it's not that big of a deal because you live 5 minutes away. Also, working at Cinemark, you get to see free movies. It's pretty great.
Yay, can't wait to see the Paw Patrol movie for free. I think the last time I went to Cinemark was for my mom's birthday. And on my way, it was either in or out. I think it was in. I made direct eye contact with Will, and he whipped his head around and ignored me.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize she was there.
For Cinemark, if you don't want a long line, go to Studio, where I cook because it's better and shorter lines. You can't serve your popcorn or drinks, but it's still better than concessions, honestly.
Okay.
We can give you pizza,
So much
fries.
shade.
The pizza's overpriced.
The pizza's pretty good. I make them, so
The pizza it's $10.75, I think, for this like tiny.
9-inch.
Is not worth it. Do not buy the pizza.
Like, if you see a pizza with my initials and the pepperoni, it was made by me, guys.
If you
Noted.
see a pizza with the salsa writing it, or it's not worth it, then you know it was Will.
You should get like a little stamp or something that you can just like put in the crust.
A stamp in the crust.
Okay, my advice for Starbucks, if you get a Frappuccino, say like you get a Grande, say I want a Grande Frappuccino in a venti cup, because we always have extra after we fill it up, so if you want all of it, just get a bigger cup. Just saying. Getting more for your
You
price.
haven't told me that. You haven't even told me that. What the heck?
Here,
Special
now you
advice
know.
for the podcast.
My tip for Hobby Lobby is that most of our stuff goes on sale, and it goes on sale for half off most of the time. So just check our weekly ad online. Everything is on sale. If it goes on sale, only buy it when it's on sale. Just wait a week.
Okay, now fun stories. How have we dealt with bad customers? What kind of bad experience have you had? Because I know you guys have.
So on any given day, I typically get a couple of rotten eggs, a couple of real meanies, to which I will just talk at them deadpan until eventually they leave me alone. Because normally it's something stupid like, oh, they want to change their soda choice like halfway through me filling it, or they want their icy mixed a certain way, which is
Oh my god.
question: do people actually mix like all 3 flavors of icy? Is that
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
disgusting.
That's great.
And
Yeah,
then,
I
you know, there's
People are
like,
gross.
I know people that I knew people that would actually go into the 7-Eleven and just get every single one.
You were the scum of the earth.
Yeah, but to make someone else
like
do
the
that
normal
for
drink
you.
gets 3 pumps. They wanted 17 pumps in their drink. I was like,
Of
oh,
what?
17? And they're like, yes. I'm like, 17? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay.
Of sweetener.
Wait,
or-
17?
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Was that Sophia?
Once someone dropped an entire large thing of pop in the middle of the lobby, and I had to go mop it up.
I did that.
Yeah, it happens more commonly than you think.
I thought
it
you
happened
meant
to
that
me.
Jonathan dropped the cup and had Will clean it.
20
It's
minutes
just a
after
power move on his 1 cent over him.
Oh yeah, you made the.
Yeah, no, 20 minutes after my shift ended, I went to go see a movie with my sister, and I got a large soda, and it just crumpled and it fell on the floor.
Crumble.
And like my manager had to clean it up, and I felt bad, and I started going to the supply closet, and then they were like, "No, you don't clean it. You're a customer now." And I was like, "All right."
What?
Why did?
Oh, I thought you meant like you're fired. You're a customer. That's what you meant. I have a similar story, but they purposely threw it on the floor. I
Yeah.
took their order, and they wanted a coffee frap, and I accidentally put a cream-based. And they're like, hey, is this cream-based? I'm like, let me check. Yeah, I think it is. If you don't want it, we can remake it for you. Totally fine. And they're like, don't bother. They turn around and just slam it on the floor.
Had they paid for it?
Yeah.
Good.
Like a football.
They were just a jerk about it. Do you want to
Just
talk about your
don't be
newest
reckless.
bad customer?
Which one? 1 out of 3 robberies that we've had this week.
It's the devious licks.
It's the
Devious
We've had
but
3
Hobby
devious
Lobby.
licks
Yeah,
this week.
I walked into Hobby Lobby and burned half the store down. It's just, it's just a
Devious licks.
Just
lick,
normal
bro.
Hobby
White
Lobby
bag.
stuff.
We've had 1 successful robbery this week and 2 failed.
Elaborate on successful and failure.
So the failed ones are the ones that we were like, no, that's not allowed. And the one that was successful was we got 1 bag from her. My manager literally ripped one of 2 bags out of her arms, but then the other one was like wrapped around her wrist. So we couldn't because it would have been assault. So
Run at her
had-
with scissors. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't. Yeah, he was like, "Someone
Wait,
get me
actually?
scissors," but we didn't have scissors.
Yeah, he was like,
Oh
get
my-
the
It's
scissors.
a Hobby Lobby.
but we didn't have them at the front register, so we didn't have time before. She
Now
got
you
out the
know.
door.
Always have a weapon on hand.
But like we would have used the scissors to like cut the bag off her wrist. So and then she got out the door.
Oh, that
Like
makes
she was
sense.
super drunk, and so
I'm wasted. Let me go to my Hobby Lobby.
Yeah,
What
so
a
that's
nerd. I was
Hobby
there
Lobby.
2 hours before.
Yeah, she had 2 of those like huge plastic bags, just absolutely stuffed with things.
Like random crap or
Yes,
random
just
stuff. or-
Random stuff. I was starting to do returns, and I went like right past her as my manager went up to her, and it was after closing, and he was like, "Ma'am, we've been closed for a while, and I have told you that we're closed. Do I need to call the police?"
You
for
should have just
move
locked the door until
The door
she-
was locked.
Oh, it was locked. How'd she get out?
It has,
The
it has a
back-
safety feature. She went through the automatic door, and then like the other door was locked. Like she was able to get through it, but successful. We got one of the bags from her. The cops were called, but successful robbery on her part. Exciting day. We watched movies afterwards, training videos. So it was
Aw,
fun.
fun.
Being a teen in the workplace, it's different because especially your work hours are different. You're limited on what you can do. But I mean, it's not too different. You're
No.
kind of treated differently, I guess. I don't
There's not
notice a
much
difference.
More than that, like
They can't really tell you're a kid. You could say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm 22," and they'd believe.
It's getting me a little nervous.
yeah, we have a similar thing. Like if a hot dog's on the warmer for 4 hours, yeah, we have a box in the back labeled "damage," and then if you, for some reason you want a probably overcooked cold hot dog, you can take it. I mean, it's food.
The hot dog box.
This is sadly making me think of something that is actually very nice that the people at my work do, but this is something that most people do in like actual work environments. But since it's retail, we have like an actual break room and stuff, and they might have this at Cinemark, but like we have this new hire that works at a cupcake place, and she has decided to bring cupcakes in for us every single day, and she comes in at 5,
Oh my
and I come
God.
in at 5, and so she brings cupcakes in every day when I come in.
Dang.
No one does that, Cinemark. We have a
Really?
break room,
Yeah,
but
okay.
like it's dead. It is the most depressing. It's
Yeah, I walked in there once to clock out, and I just saw 8 people in their own little corners of the break room, just eating their food, just
Oh.
quietly.
Yeah,
Our break room's pretty cool. People bring snacks all the time. Right now, we have a certain spot for Cupcake Ladies offerings. And then
Donations.
there's a basket that's brought in with a bunch of like peanut butter and cheese crackers and then
What?
Smarties. And then we have 2 microwaves, a fridge, like
Such a weird combination of food.
Yeah,
Smarties.
and we have a vending
Pret- or
machine.
Whatever
I
you
know.
said.
And we have a
What, you have a vending
We have
machine?
a vending machine.
We have 2 chairs. That's it.
You work in Starbucks, dude. You're the size of your
We don't even have a
whole
microwave
building,
in Starbucks.
The
We
size of
get
your whole
3
building
chairs.
could fit in our bathrooms.
I
bro.
know. Our building was originally a T-Mobile place, so it's even smaller than a regular
Oh,
Starbucks.
that's
It
so
freaking
weird.
that
sucks.
is very
Yeah.
funny.
Having a break is so boring. You just sit there. That was it for our job advice. I hope you found it, I don't know, useful. Hope you learned a few things. And now to our volunteering advice.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Now, this is our segment for the volunteering. We'll start with introductions. It's me, as you probably know, Riley Hacker.
It's Delianne again, still here.
Amelia. I haven't been in person yet, so this is my first in-person podcast.
And I'm Rowan. You've never heard me before.
So, we're going to start with what kind of volunteering experience do you guys have?
I can go first. This summer, I did a ton of volunteering at Six Stones, and I organized clothes and stuff, and it was really fun. I got to be friends with the old ladies and stuff, and they're so sweet. But yeah, I did that for a lot of my summer.
I haven't had much volunteering experience, but basically just whatever we did group volunteering, like collegiate did group volunteering, and then this summer I did, well actually it was during school, I volunteered at this place called House of Shine in Main Street. It's really nice. I was meant to be a camp counselor and I got accepted, but all 3 weeks of camp were canceled. So I did not get to do any of that. So I have barely any hours. So
You seem like a camp counselor.
Really?
I mean, you're very enthusiastic, so I feel like you'd be good with kids. And
I
plus
can see
candy
that.
earrings, candy
Oh
necklace.
yeah, do I have
very much Super Mario shirt. Good
Yeah.
with the kids.
I have experience with working with my church before. Also, I do a lot of Grapevine Park and Recs. They do a lot of volunteering where you clean up trash, and then they have a lot of festivals, and so I help out with that. On advice for maybe finding places and where to volunteer, there's definitely a lot of resources out there. We have a lot of resources if you need that. We will link it down in the description. We're going to say a few places here, and I recommend Grapevine Park and Rec because they have a lot of opportunities. You can email them, and they'll definitely give you a lot of opportunities to volunteer. And also, a cool thing is that some of their organizations, when you volunteer, they'll double your hours.
Oh,
so I worked for 6 hours,
so nice.
doubled it for 12 hours.
That's
So
that's
super
wonderful.
awesome.
Yeah, I heard that they're doing Grape Fest and stuff, and then they're going to do times 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, for Grape Fest, honestly,
It's
you kind of
worth the
deserve
times
it
2 hours.
because
It's chaotic.
yeah,
It
it
is
is
chaotic.
really chaotic.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's just an
gosh.
extra hour? No, it is 10 hours worth of work. It is exhausting. So go out there,
Grapevine.
have fun. It's really fun to volunteer because it's a lot of action, it's a lot of work, but you get to meet people.
I mean, yeah, you will meet a lot of people. I've met a bunch of new friends of any age during volunteering. Like I said, them old ladies, and even little kids, and kids my age, of course. It's so fun to meet new people because it's you're all doing one thing, and you can really bond over it.
Yeah, and obviously nice people volunteer. You're not gonna meet
Go and
a
meet
bunch
people.
of
Wink,
Yeah,
wink.
that's
people.
another thing. I would suggest personally that, so the place that I mentioned earlier, House of Shine, my mom found it just doing a couple of Google searches. So there's so many places to volunteer in our area,
Yeah,
so
so
many.
many.
So just search up something you might be interested in. I'm sure you can find a place. Like what I had to do, they have different jobs, but what I did was just I helped make crafts either for their shop or their events in Main Street. Finding a place like that is super awesome because I'm an artist.
You get to do arts and
easy.
crafts.
Yeah, that's so fun
that's
to
fun.
me. So just find something similar to that. There's plenty of places. I'm sure you'll find something that's a perfect fit. And especially if it's something you might want to go into in the future, it's great to make
True.
connections.
Yeah, we made a big list of stuff like shelters, libraries. The list just goes
You
on
want brownie
food
points
pantries.
on getting books.
Yeah, you can. I don't know. I volunteered at a library before, and it's super chill. So I would definitely recommend that. Yeah, you could also TA at
Yeah.
Collegiate Academy. Don't overwork yourself. That's
Yeah.
a big thing. Well, we have a lot of clubs here, and it's easy to overwork yourself.
Yeah.
As a junior, I only had 3 classes, and yet I managed to overwork myself, but
But you're a hard worker.
yes.
It's a good trait.
It's okay. It's for the resume. That's
Oh,
what it's
yeah.
for.
Mhm.
And
the
you're in an
resume.
internship, so
Yeah.
very hard work. And you have a job. All we're talking about is stuff that you will need to know, in high school, because that's when you need to
Yeah.
volunteer. That's when you need to get a job. That's when you're going to start driving, and you, need those hours and stuff. Very important.
Yeah, and I want to mention volunteering and volunteer hours can give you experience to get a job.
True.
So think
Again,
about
gotta
that.
gotta have that nice resume, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Build
Like-
up your resume. Well, another thing we have to mention is that you need 100 hours to graduate. So
Yes, you need 100 hours.
It's still 100, right?
Yes. A while ago, I volunteered for Grace. They're really cool. I volunteered there specifically because when I was super young, we had to use Grace. They're very cool. They're
Yeah,
very
they are
cool.
cool.
And I know Tarrant County has an organization that I volunteered for recently where they did a food pantry.
I know Six Stones did a lot of stuff with the food pantry.
I'm not sure what organization it was, but there was tons of food.
What I was going to mention earlier is that we said you can come talk to us. We might make a list of links. If for some reason you can't get a hold of one of us, the front desk, you can ask and they will tell you. Like, there's plenty of places, plenty of people at Collegiate that will give you really good suggestions as well.
Yeah,
so.
I also want to say you might want to ask Miss Roberts as well, because she's charge of NHS, which is, volunteering. And so I'm sure she has some sources she can suggest you.
Yeah. She was like, oh, here, let me send you guys emails for Grape Fest. And then, like, I came home from school, and she had already sent them out. She's just dedicated. I really, loved my volunteer service this summer, because I could actually scroll up and give you the exact amount of hours I did. But I did, 50 or 60 hours there during the summer, and it was so fun.
Just so you know, I think a rule is you can only have 50 hours max at one place.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still volunteer there, even if, it wasn't for school, just because, it was such a good community. But basically, I already told you guys, but I did a lot. I did everything because I was comfortable with them, because I had volunteered so much this summer. And at first I did clothing, and they would literally let you take home clothes.
What?
I was
Wait,
one time
really?
I was just
Cool.
oh, this is so cute. And then they're like, okay, take it.
Wait, was it a place that donated clothes or a thrift store?
Oh, it wasn't a thrift store, but it kind of looks like one, where people will come and donate stuff, and then we hang them up, tag them and whatever, and then people can pick up household items, clothes, food
For free.
For
It's
free.
like
Okay. So it is a donation /
Yeah.
thrift store.
And it's for low income people and veterans, single moms and stuff. It's such a good community.
What's
they
it
would-
called?
Oh, it's called Six Stones. It's kind of similar to Grace.
Yeah. That's the
Where
name of the
where
place?
is Six Stones?
Oh, it's
Google
called
Map
the New
this.
Hope Center, and it's right next to Cross City Church, because it's funded by them. And then they would just give them to you for free, and that goes with food and stuff. So every time we would leave, they were just here, have some bread.
That's awesome.
Have a cute
I
shirt,
like bread.
you know?
Maybe I'll consider doing
Right.
that.
This summer.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go a little more into the NHS application, because you should definitely join. It looks good on resumes, it looks good on applications, it's good experience, and it will help you with volunteer opportunities.
There's that resume again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The episode. So, the NHS application, it's worth it. You'll get a lot of hours out of it. And there's this very cool ceremony. I was online for it, but I'm sure it's very cool in person. Yeah, that's what it is. Basically, I'm pretty sure the ceremony is you get a pebble and you're able to walk on stage and put it into a jar.
Yes.
Oh,
the
yeah,
great
yeah, I
phoenix and
remember
all.
that.
Yeah, that
I
was
saw
just the
that.
Phoenix thing.
Mhm.
That's not the NHS thing.
And it's just the candles where you...
Yeah, that's the
we
candle.
each light a candle.
Yeah. But yes, NHS application, just like a job application, you want to sell yourself. So put in everything you know, anything that might help you get
Straight up thought you said sell your soul.
Nope.
Do that
Nope,
too.
not that. You will have to do community service, so I mean,
That's kind
you're
of
gonna have to do it at the end of the day. So it's a good opportunity if you need help with that. You will also need recommendations, just like a resume. So for that, my advice is, I'm pretty sure Kavanaugh is always happy to help with that.
Yeah, and specifically Collegiate Academy teachers as your
Yeah.
recommendation. Yeah, 'cause
Uh-huh.
you-
They're
I think-
all really willing to help.
Yeah,
just make sure you
definitely.
ask them.
Yeah, and also make
because-
sure they actually know who you are. Don't walk up to
Yeah.
a random teacher, because they might not give you the best score just because they
Yeah.
literally don't know you. So
Okay, on
And
the...
jobs do check. If you don't know, assume that they will call whoever it is and check.
You probably have to include the email too and everything. On the NHS application, it says 2 teachers, professors, or school staff. So you could even tell your college professors, ask them for a recommendation.
Gotta get
So,
those brownie points.
Okay, but you guys should definitely do NHS or leadership, because good for that college resume and whatnot. And it's good to be involved with the school, and it makes you feel fulfilled.
All right, guys. So it is October. Yes, we love October. It is actually also not just Halloween, guys, but it is LGBTQ plus History Month. So while there is Pride Month in June, as we all know, October is LGBTQ plus History Month. Now, according to LGBTHistoryMonth.com, a high school teacher chose this month to celebrate and educate about the history of the community. October was chosen because public schools are in session, and it is an exciting tradition because Coming Out Day is October 11th, and it occurs, obviously, October this month. So happy LGBTQ History Month to all that celebrate it, and we love you, and we hope you have a great month and a great day and a great year, and we just hope you have a great life, guys.
For our promotion, this episode is going to be Amelia's mom. So do you want to explain what that's about?
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom is making these little origami earrings, and I don't know, she just started like doing it this summer as like a little hobby, but like it's so nice that she's doing something and like that she has a hobby. Bro, why am I tearing up?
Aww.
Okay, so I'm setting up like a little Etsy for my mom. Basically, she makes these cute little origami earrings, and we have an Etsy right now, but if you want to just come up to me in school, I will literally take like an order from school or something, because I know Miss McCormick and Raina both have little earrings that they wear. Yeah, I will get an Etsy link up in the bio.
So if you're listening on Spotify, so sorry, go to our YouTube.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Drop by YouTube or just talk to Amelia in person.
We love support, either in Spotify, YouTube, anywhere. We are happy to have it, and we're so glad that you guys are with us.
Absolutely. So we are on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We are Collegiate Cast on everything except for Instagram, where we are Collegiate Cast CA. So go ahead and follow our socials.
Make sure to subscribe and
Leave a little
hit that
comment,
bell.
especially on this episode.
Yes, comment. We will interact with every single comment.
We really do want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable going into any volunteering or job stuff, because that's really, really important. And you have us. We are people willing to help you.
We are not robots.
Yeah,
we're not that. You don't have to take that "Are you a robot?" quiz with us.
Yeah.
Let us know if this episode helped you and you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching.
Bye.